that Jesus is sinless,
Yeah.
without sin and without blemish. He was perfect. That's why he's the perfect atonement for our sin. But you follow a sinner. That's easier. It's far easier to follow a sinner. I'm a sinner. You're a sinner.
Okay.
Easy to follow a sinner. It's difficult to follow an example that's sinless. That's why you don't follow Jesus, because you follow a sinner. It's easy. You're on the easy route, bud.
Okay.
Go ahead, Dragon Boy. Yeah,
let me
go ahead.
respond. Right. So I don't grant the fact that firstly Jesus was sinless according to the New Testament.
Tell me his sin.
Yeah, I'll tell you. Firstly, do you believe that insulting somebody is a sin?
Hold on real quick. I think I know the Dawa script so well.
No,
Let me think. Hey, hold on real quick.
Is
Hold on real
insulting
quick.
somebody a
I'm
sin? Yes or
gonna
no?
tell. Hey, this
We'll
is
say that.
by this right here. I'm about to be a prophet in Islam. Everybody is gonna believe I'm a prophet because I'm about to prophesy what this guy is about to talk about. I'm predicting he's about to talk about when Jesus said somebody was like a dog.
Oh, he called somebody a dog?
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
Oh my
Okay,
gosh.
so then now
Hey, man,
is this
so
a
I'm a
sin?
final prophet.
Just
So
refer to a human as a dog is sin.
let me read this for everybody, because I know you're going to say Jesus called a woman a dog, right?
Well, no. Well, okay. Can you answer the question? Is referring to somebody as a dog a sin?
I'm just going to read it for everybody first, and then we'll get to this. But this is crazy, man. I prophesied right here. So according to Islam, I should be the final prophet, man. So you got to follow me. And that should be easy because I too am a sinner. And I just prophesied, man, just like Muhammad. That's crazy. Just proved in a second.
Can you I've yet to hear a response.
Yeah. All right,
Do you believe referring to somebody as a dog is a sin?
Here we go.
Yes or no?
All right, so I'm going to read it to you, okay?
All right, can you answer the question?
Yeah. So I'm going to read it to you because your question
Well, no,
is
there's nothing. I never even said anything specific.
Dragon Boy, listen to your new prophet, Dragon Boy, all right? Listen to your new prophet and be quiet, okay? So here we go. Hey, listen to your prophet for a second, okay? So a Canaanite woman from that region came out and was crying, "Have mercy on me, O Lord, son of David. My daughter is severely oppressed by a demon." But he did not answer her a word. And his disciples came and begged him, saying, "Send her away. She's crying out after us." And he answered, "I was sent only to the lost sheep of the house of Israel." But she came and knelt before him, saying, "Lord, help me." And he answered, "It is not right to take the children's bread and throw it to the dogs." She said, "Yes, Lord. Yet even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from their master's table." Then Jesus answered her, "O woman, great is your faith. Be it done for you as you desire." And her daughter was healed instantly. So he was saying the dogs, right? He didn't call her a dog. He said the dogs, right? Because he came from the lost sheep of Israel, right?
What you just said is even worse. Let me respond.
That's worse? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'll explain how it's worse.
Hold on real quick. Just so you know, the reason why during that time they were called dogs, that's just everybody. Everybody outside of being a Jew is because they've gone astray. When you think of strays, it's dogs. You know, dogs are strays, and then you have the Israelites who were the chosen ones.
Look at this ad hoc cope. Okay, now you spoke.
I'm just helping you understand.
Bro, let me
helping you understand, little buddy.
That's fine, right? Yeah. Now,
so how is that a sin? Because he helped.
Well, bro, you're gonna have to listen to me to establish how it's a sin, right?
Yeah, I'm
so
listening.
You said, "Oh no, well, he never directly called her a dog, right?"
No.
But the point is, yeah, he said even worse. By the fact that she's not a Jew or she's not of the children of Israel and that she's a Gentile.
Dude, we can all hear the saliva pool in your mouth. Just swallow that spit, dude. I'm just saying swallow the spit in your mouth.
Clearly you can comprehend what I'm saying.
I have headphones in, dude. I don't want to hear that spit pool in your mouth. Just swallow your spit and keep talking.
Why am I being muted?
Because we're giving you a break to swallow your spit, dude.
So let me respond, right?
Unless you have a retainer in, dude. I apologize.
Can you just stop talking? Like, what's wrong with you? So again, he replied, "It is not right to take the children's bread and toss it to the dogs." Now, the bread is for obviously the Jews, and the dog that's being represented here is the Gentile. Then she, hearing this parable, she accepts. She says, "Yes, it is, Lord." She said, "Even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from their master's table," meaning that
wait a minute.
And stop.
You just said he gave a parable.
Let me
no, hold on.
You just said, and I land my voice. I don't know why you keep.
Hey, real quick though, you just said a parable. So did he call her a dog, or was it a parable?
Yeah. Okay. How embarrassing that you suppose there's a contradiction in that. Parables carry meanings. They explicate the point. What's being represented here is that the Jews are the bread is given to them. They're the ones that are being given the focus, since he was only sent to them. Now, in the case of the Gentiles, what's being represented in this case of this parable is that they are dogs. So Jesus was being racist by the fact that, because of the fact of her race, that she's a Gentile. He didn't want to help her. And the funny thing is, you said that the Gentiles were referred to as dogs because they weren't Jews, because people that were Gentiles did not worship God properly. Well, no,
that's not what I said. That's not what I said.
What was the point that you made? Your point was that
it's like they're all strays. They're all strays. They're not with gods. They're all strays.
Oh, they're not with God, right?
Yeah, they're all strays.
So then they don't obey God. Exactly the point that you're just rehashing, right? So again, because of the fact that they don't obey God, therefore they're going to be referred to as dogs. Well, the issue is
it's not that they don't even know God. It's not just that they don't obey.
The point is, this woman supposedly she knew God. She was on her knees begging.
No, listen.
He still referred to her as a dog.
Listen, she didn't know God. She had faith in Jesus. I read it to you. That's why he said.
Yes, so she believed in Jesus. Yet she's still called a dog for being a Gentile.
Believed in Jesus.
Refuting your own point. That's not about the fact that the Gentiles don't worship God. Real quick. In fact, she is worshiping God. Yet she's still a dog.
Dragon boy. First off, I appreciate you swallowing that spit in your mouth. You sound a lot better. Second,
notice how you're not responding.
Second, you said it was a parable. So therefore, I guess he didn't sin. He was just.
And what was my response after that?
So
parables there's no contradiction. That parables carry That parables carry meaning. He's explicating a point with this parable. He's not just gibberating points. Let me finish.
Tell me again.
I broke down the meaning of the parable. Yet you just like rehash the stance as if we're gonna get anywhere with this. In the case of this parable, the Jews are given the bread. They're being designated the attention of Christ. But in the case of the Gentiles, they're being referred to as dogs. So based upon their race, a group is being given their attention while the others are being referred to as dogs. This is just racism on the behalf of Jesus. Therefore, I'm going to suppose that you're going to...
This guy's a goofy. There's just racism.
I don't understand why I'm being
it's kind of funny.
Your mods not contain themselves while you just
it's kind of funny though. A Muslim talking about racism.
Mods feel the need to unmute me while I'm speaking.
I guess it's because it's just the way you're behaving. You're behaving
because they know that you're not actually contending with the point that's being made. 240 people tuning into the live. If anybody is sincere, they can clearly see you're not actually adjusting the argument that I'm.
Thanks. Yeah, I appreciate that. So here's the thing though. You're over here saying that Jesus sinned.
Like there's a Christian in the comment that says, "Yeah, well, yes, he's."
Hey, you're over here saying that Jesus. You're over here saying Jesus sinned because he spoke a parable. So I don't know. Like you're not
that's
proving
not what
that.
I said. You're
you
lying.
did say that. You did say that because hey, Dragon Boy, you did say that it was a parable, did you not? Yes, you did. So now you're saying that because of the parable that Jesus spoke, it was a sin.
It's not a sin because it's merely a parable. I tell your mods to stop muting. It's embarrassing. But it's
embarrassing for you, man, for sure.
Because they keep muting me while I'm making an argument.
Yeah, you kind of just
while you strawman my point. It's not a sin because he said a parable. It's a sin because what's being represented or the meaning behind the parable, where there's one group being referred to, designated their attention, while another group is being referred to as a dog. So rather than saying it's dumb, can you respond to the argument? I've yet to hear a response for the past 10 minutes. Respond to the point.
First off, let me tell you why this is dumb, Goofy. I'll tell you why this is dumb.
But don't repeat my rhetoric.
Yeah, listen, Goofy. This is why it's dumb. And don't disrespect your new prophet like this, okay? Show me some respect.
You're a polytheist. How can a polytheist be a prophet?
I'm your prophet.
You said yourself you don't know your God.
I prophesied, bro. I'm a prophet according to you. So here we go, okay? So Jesus was just keeping to God's promise. God said that he was going to send the Messiah to the chosen people. So Jesus was just given the parable because he was on a mission.
That Gentiles are dogs. That's the parable.
Okay. Hey, I'm sorry that you're so offended that everybody else got.
I'm not offended. I'm just saying this is a sin.
It is just crazy to me. A sin.
Again,
you think
the issue is you're not. Yeah, being racist is a sin, right? Do you agree that insulting and being racist is a sin?
No. Well, it was a parable. Right?
Parables carry meaning, and the meaning behind this specific parable was racist. So is this a sin?
I don't see that as racist. So
if I refer to your mother as a dog, is that a sin?
That's different.
Why, okay, so if I say that black people or Africans are dogs, is that a sin?
Dogs? I'd be like, why are you calling them dogs?
Well, answer my question. If I go to the Jews and I say you're a dog, is that a sin?
Hey, with this, in this context that you're giving, that sounds bad. But in the context,
can you refute it then?
I already did. I guess you weren't listening.
No,
this is how I know you get excited. This is how I know you get so excited to speak. The spit in your mouth, we were hearing it for a while. It's like you're foaming at the mouth.
You've yet to respond.
It's because I guess you don't get it. Because like I said, back then, dude, even me, I'd be considered a dog because I would have been seen as a stray back then. But would I consider that racist? No, because racism singles out one group of people. But everybody who wasn't an Israelite was considered dogs because they all had gone astray. Do you know racism singles out one group? So just like your example with blacks, hello, that's racist. But if everybody's seen as dogs compared to the Israelites, that's not racism.
Well,
that sounds like equality.
Let me quickly respond to you. Saying, this is just like a typical use of language that they refer to the Gentiles as dogs, and it's not really an insult to racists, right?
True.
Well,
True,
Jesus disagrees.
Today they see that. They see this as dogs today.
Well, no, dog here is you're saying that the connotation isn't as bad in relation to how we understand it today. But in the case of the Bible, that's not how it's going to be understood, because in Matthew 7:6, Jesus says, "Do not give the dogs what is sacred. Do not throw your pearls to the pigs. If you do, they may trample them under your feet and turn and tear you into pieces." Meaning, when he says do not give the dogs what is sacred, he's referring that dog here is going to be something that has a negative connotation. So now when he refers to the woman as a dog for being a Gentile,
give me that Matthew verse.
Yeah, Matthew 7:6.
Matthew 7:6. I love your little giggle, dude. That was a good one. Matthew
no, but it's funny 6. Because you can't respond
Goofy. That's funny that you giggle, man. You giggle in front of all of us.
You can't respond to my arguments.
Do not give dogs what is holy, and do not throw your pearls. Yeah, cool. Do not give dogs what is holy, and do not throw your pearls. Does dog have a good connotation? According to Jesus, does dog mean a good thing? Do not give. No, not that one. No.
Oh, so it says do not give dogs what is holy or sacred, meaning I'm
about to read this right now.
Look. You're saying, wait 1 second. Your entire point is in shambles. So when he calls the woman a dog, this carries a negative connotation. Therefore,
context is important right here, right? Context is important. And I already told you why he called her a dog. Yeah, I know, right? So judge not that you be judged, for with the judgment you pronounce you will be judged, and with the measure you use it will be measured to you. Why do you see the speck that is in your brother's eye, but do not notice the log that is in your own eye? Can you stop talking? Who cares if you're muted? You're not even talking right now. I'm speaking. Just stay emotional on mute, okay? Or how can you say to your brother, let me take the speck out of your eye when there's a log in your own eye? You hypocrite. Ooh, that's you. You hypocrite. First take the log out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to take the speck out of your own eye. Do not give dogs what is holy, and do not throw your pearls before pigs,
a dog has a
lest they trample. Do not give dogs what is holy, and do not throw your pearls before pigs, lest they trample them under and turn to attack you. Hey, what about pigs? You don't have a problem with pigs?
So first off, tell your mods to stop beating me, right?
You don't have a problem with pigs?
Your mods stop beating me because I can't respond to you if they keep doing that.
You don't have a problem with pigs?
Well, of course, pigs has also a negative. Like your mods are so scared. What's going on right now?
They're just trying to.
Yeah. So can you stop them? This is your live, right?
It's okay.
Yeah. Like, I mean, they're helping you, right? It's better that I'm muted, so they can't listen to my argument that's being hashed out.
Yeah, go ahead, dude.
Again, so your point was, because this verse just completely refutes it. You said, well, dog doesn't carry a negative connotation because everybody was called a dog. Well, no, according to Jesus in Matthew 7:6, it says, do not give the dogs what is sacred. Dog
Who's he talking to? Who's he talking to? Who is
again,
he talking to?
What's the only point of reference here is going to be the term dog, and whether it has a good connotation, it's a general term of usage, or whether it has a negative connotation.
Who is he talking to?
Again, can you stop it? Let me you've been speaking for the past 10 minutes.
Are they Israelites? Is this the Israelites, or is it still the Israelites?
Can I get a point across?
I'm just trying to.
Can you just wait and while I finish?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. You just read the entirety of the context. Now, after I start speaking, you want to speak about context again. Yeah. Dog here, as you just conceded to, carries a negative connotation. So then now going back to the other passage of Matthew, when he refers to a woman as a dog for merely being a Gentile, then therefore he was being racist, since dog here carries a negative connotation. My question to you is referring to a group of individuals or an ethnicity a dog, is that like a sin, yes or no?
No, because everybody was called that.
Okay, so not everybody was called that. Why didn't he call the Jews a dog?
So right here, do not give dogs what is holy. Who's he talking about?
So do you think it's referring to every individual or a specific group of individuals?
I'm asking you, man. You're the one pulling up this verse.
Well, no, you just read the context. The context, so I would suppose that you would know.
So is he talking to Israelites, or is he talking about just more non-Israelites?
I'm gonna suppose he's speaking to Israelites.
He's not.
So who is he speaking to?
Non-Israelites.
Okay, and how do you know that?
Well, because of the context.
Okay, read the context. Where can you infer that from the context?
Yeah, we're gonna have to back it up a little bit more too.
Well, let's read the context and let's see what they're speaking about the non-Israelites.
We're gonna have to back it up a little bit more too, because
can you read the context?
I just read from the top of 7, so we're gonna have to
but what verse are you? Because I have it up in front of me.
Just to see.
Where can you infer that from?
I'll tell you. Yeah, just to see about who we're talking to now. Okay, and because now that we know that dogs aren't the
no, you said he's speaking to the Gentiles here, so can you just establish it?
Yeah, right. But now that we know that dogs aren't the Israelites, right? So we know that.
Again, I'm asking you to prove that.
That the dogs aren't the Israelites?
Yeah, that right here you said that he was speaking against the Israelites. Where can I infer this from the context?
No, him talking about don't give dogs what is holy, just like don't cast your pearls to swine.
Yeah, who's being referred to here?
Yeah, it's not the Israelites.
Okay, so you're proving my point that the Israelites are not referred to as dogs, and the Gentiles are the ones that are being referred to as dogs.
Wait,
so when Jesus, bro, you're just making my arguments for me. You clown, absolute clown, son of a clown. When Jesus is making the argument,
this is how dumb you are. This is how dumb you are. Okay, this is how dumb you are. Because in the Matthew verse, this is how dumb you are. Because in the Matthew verse, we already established he wasn't talking to the Israelites.
Not me to be.
Yeah, it's because you're being rude right now. So we already established.
Because you're being humiliated right now. That's why.
Hey, stop, just for a moment, okay? So we've already established that when he references dogs, it's not the Israelites. We've already established that. So when he's over here talking about don't give to the dogs what is holy, that's still not
about the Gentiles, right? Okay, that's my point. That the Jews are never referred to as dogs, carrying this negative connotations. Right. It is only the Gentiles. You're proving my point, you clown, that Jesus is being racist by referring to these groups of individuals as dogs. Respond to the argument. Sir, respond to the argument.
Yeah, absolutely. But I already established that in Matthew when we were talking about it. When I said that everybody else was seen as dogs, not the Israelites, but that's because everybody had gone astray except, the Israelites.
Well, no, so that's false. Why did he call the woman a dog?
Because she was a Canaanite.
The woman was submitting to him, yet he still called her a dog for being a Gentile.
Hey, respectfully.
So it has nothing to do with worship.
Respectfully, you call me a clown and all this stuff, but I'm going to tell you, how do I know?
There should be no issue, right?
Man, can you just for a moment, okay? This is how I know. So the Canaanite woman, she's a Canaanite woman. She's not an Israelite. She's a Canaanite woman.
She's a Gentile, right?
So she's a dog, right? The only ones
exactly.
The people who were seen. So the people who were seen as dogs was anybody who wasn't an Israelite. So I just don't really understand what's
Jesus
the issue here.
So Jesus is racist. If I say, for example, that the Jews are dogs for merely being Jews, this would be your mods are so scared. This is actually hilarious.
It makes you so mad.
Well, no, it's not about me being mad. I'm making an argument.
You sound pretty mad, dude, and the reason why I know you're mad...
if you were cooking me right now, they wouldn't mute me. They would allow me to be cooked. I think it's because... fearing my argument or the words that are coming out of my mouth that you're failing to respond to.
I think it's because you're being rude. If you were
Jesus is being racist, you have no issue with it.
Hey, if you were up here cooking...
If you're a Canaanite, automatically you're a dog according to Jesus. If you're a Gentile, you're a dog.
If you were up here cooking, then you wouldn't feel the need to be calling names, now would you?
Well, no, it's just how's this a name? Is there a problem with this? I mean, I can call you a dog, and there should be no issue according to you.
Were you calling me dumb? Were you calling me a clown? Were you calling me names?
Well, no, yes, of course, it's going to be a form of rhetoric that you cannot contain. When you call me goofy as well, or you're humiliating yourself.
But hold on real quick. I call you goofy to give you back what you give me. But if you're up here, just telling the truth and just cooking, what's with the name calling? Because only people call names who I feel like they're, I guess, not right. Who feel like they're wrong. Who feel like they're being
made to respond.
Like a fool. So I'm just saying here. If you were really telling the truth and cooking, you wouldn't be calling names. So the fact that you're getting muted, I have no problem with it because you're being a little turd up here, dude.
So then now let's rehash it.
Yeah.
Saying that if I refer to a group of people as dogs for their race or who they are, therefore this isn't racist. No issue with this.
So here's what I said. The context is really important because...
Mano, can you just answer the question? I don't want to keep going in circles.
What I'm saying is if you called everybody a dog...
If you're not a Jew, you're a dog. And you believe this is fine?
So what I'm saying is you said it was a parable, right?
Why are you going back? Yes, it's a parable that has a racist meaning.
I bet you
parables carry meanings and the meaning is racist, therefore it's a sin.
I bet that you hate that you said it was a parable. I bet you
No,
regret
I don't
saying
hate
was
it.
a
It's just that
parable.
you keep strawmanning my
Cool.
point.
So
It's
here's
a
the difference
parable,
here.
but I'm not saying because it's a parable, therefore it's a sin.
Here's the
I'm
difference
saying the
here. Oh
meaning
my
behind
gosh.
the parable is a
Can you?
sin because
Okay,
he's
cool.
being racist.
Cool. Can you stop for a moment? Okay, look. So parables aren't direct things. Parables are something told to you in a way so you can learn something. It's to be discerned and learned.
Yeah,
So there's a difference between calling
right? Because
people.
they're dogs, then,
There's a
right?
difference
According to
between
the
calling
parable.
people. There's a difference between calling people a dog because you find yourself better than them or that you're being a racist, and then there's a way of calling people a dog in a parable sense. Like you said, it was a parable. So now, if you want to say Jesus is a sinner because of a parable, we're not going to keep going in
No,
circles on
notice how
this.
you keep strawmanning my point.
We're not going to keep going in circles on this, okay?
Second, let me just like respond. Again, I'm telling you, it's not a sin because it's a parable. Stop strawmanning my argument. My point is that this specific parable or carries a negative or a racist connotation. Therefore, because of again, your mods keep muting me. Like I'm not even insulting you as well, but they.
Yeah. Keep muting him. I'm gonna tell everybody something.
Oh, why are you scared?
Yeah, because I'm gonna
Like,
tell him. Because I'm gonna tell everybody the truth real quick.
My
Okay?
response?
Yeah, no, because I'm gonna tell everybody the truth real quick. So follow Muhammad, a sinner, and for some reason you think that Jesus is a sinner.
This is a
But the
sinner.
but the Bible teaches that Jesus is sinless.
No, I just showed that he's a.
Hey, you are saying he's a sinner.
Respond to the argument.
Hey,
You repeat your sentences are gonna do.
Hey, real quick, just keep him on mute real quick. And I'm only asking to keep him on mute because I don't like that he keeps interrupting and he gets loud and he calls me names and he's being disrespectful. Just be quiet real quick, okay? I'm just telling you the truth here. So anybody here, if you don't believe me, just simply Google this. Google it if you don't believe me. Was Jesus a sinner? Now, I already know he's sinless because the Bible teaches it. But if you don't believe me, anybody watching, just Google it. Was Jesus a sinner? And
I'm making an argument to show it's a sinner.
Just be quiet.
Well, can you refute me?
It says in Christian.
Can you refute me?
Just stop talking. I'm trying to say something, okay? In Christian theology, Jesus is considered to be sinless. So regardless of what you're saying, the Bible, that parable that we keep talking about, doesn't show that Jesus is a sinner because the Bible teaches he's sinless. So just because you read that parable and take it as Jesus is a sinner, that's just your opinion. But the Bible says he's sinless.
Okay,
and
so
even
let me
the Quran says Jesus is sinless, right?
No issue. So let me quickly respond now, right? For the 200
Look at him, man. Hey, I'm glad.
I can't speak at all.
Oh wow! Yeah, mute him real quick because I got something else. Also, can you keep him muted real quick? So again, I don't really care what he has to say because now you can even.
Why are you scared?
Hey, now you can even Google: Is Jesus sinless? Is Jesus sinless in Islam? If you Google "Is Jesus sinless in Islam," it'll say in Islam, Jesus. That's funny. It says peace be upon him in brackets. It's like everybody's got OCD when it comes to that. Is considered a sinless prophet. Yet here we've got this Muslim saying that Jesus is a sinner in the Bible when the Bible says he's sinless. And he also said, well, according to Islam, he's also a sinless prophet. So why are you saying Jesus is a sinner if you, a Muslim, you're supposed to submit your will to Allah, is saying Jesus is considered a sinless prophet? Why are you up here doing this, hypocrite? Why are you doing this, hypocrite?
Can I respond?
Yeah, hypocrite, please respond, hypocrite.
Yeah, okay. So hopefully your mods can stop spamming me.
Yeah, let him speak. Let him speak.
So the point is, the reason why look, they're still muting.
Well, I mean, I'm your prophet. I'm not theirs. They don't have to listen to me. I'm your prophet, not theirs.
Yeah. The issue is it's hilarious. You made this argument. You said it's easier to follow Islam because our prophet sinned while your prophet is sinless. Therefore, I made this argument, right? Now, I want to ask everybody in their life, if I refer to a group, if I say Africans are dogs, is this going to be a sin or is this action wrong? You telling them, oh, go look it up on Google means absolutely nothing. If I go to a group of or any individual and I say, you are a dog based upon your race or for not being a non-Jew, anybody is going to suppose that this action is going to be racist. And you've yet to respond to the argument.
Yeah, because like I told you, man, I believe what the Bible says about Jesus, that he's sinless. And just because you
Well, can I call your mother a dog? Is it fine? Like if I say Jesus is a dog, is this fine? In your conception.
Hey, just because you can't understand a parable and take offense to it.
Well, no, I explicated it, and you get to
even though
respond.
it's kind of crazy that you call Jesus racist, right? Because
Well, no, the Bible says he's racist.
I mean, the Bible doesn't. Because here's what's crazy.
You said yourself he's racist because they're Gentiles, they're dogs.
That's crazy. I never said he was racist. But here's what's crazy.
No, you said that because they're non-Jews, they're dogs.
Let me ask you something. Do racists help out people that they're racist against? Do they help people that they're racist about?
Yes, they do. When they go on their knees and beg like a dog, right, and accept the fact that they're a dog, yes, then he helped the lady. After she was on her knees begging to help her daughter. That's when he started helping her.
Hey, did she beg? So let me ask you.
Yeah, she was on her. She said, even the dogs eat the crumbs from their master's table.
Wow.
So she's accepting the fact that she is a dog.
Hold on real quick. But hey, hold on. Look at how emotional you get. He's so mad that I proved that.
I'm perfectly fine. It's hilarious humiliating a pagan on a lie in front of 220 people. And you're yet to respond to the argument, you dog.
I'm trying to. Look at him. He just said that.
Wait, is that an issue? I mean, I can call you a dog. According to you, there's no problem.
This is the fruit of Islam.
If I refer to you,
Islam. Yeah, thank you.
Keep issue with calling you a dog.
Yeah,
it's fine for Jesus.
No, I didn't say it. But do you hear your tone? Did Jesus say you dog? Did he speak to her like that? It's just silly.
I don't know. I mean, like we can't like derive a tone from just reading a text.
It's just silly that you said
it's like putting like.
Hey, Dragon Boy, just take Dragon Boy, just take a breather real quick, okay? Just take a breather real quick. It's just kind of embarrassing that you say it's a parable. And if the lady felt so offended, why didn't she say, yo, Jesus, what the heck? I'm not a dog.
Yeah, because she wants him to heal. She needs her aid. She's desperate for her daughter to be healed, and she's on her knees accepting that she's a dog. Your God is racist, and he's a sinful individual as well. Respond to it.
Okay. So anyways,
respond to it.
So she responded to him with the parable, right? She knew it was a parable, and he responded because, hello, was Jesus eating bread on the table, and she ate the crumbs that fell on the table from the table?
Even she accepted. She said, even the dogs eat the crumbs from their master's table.
Hey, listen, dude. You're just a buffoon
the fact she was a dog.
Okay. So anyways, then we can move on.
So do you accept that your God is racist?
No, I don't, because the Bible teaches that Jesus is sinless, and you just
but based upon their race, he's calling them dogs. So isn't this racism? Like the definition of racism?
I accept that you don't understand.
Sir. Do you know what racism is? Can you tell me what racism is?
Racism? Yeah. It's when you single out a group of people and you oppress them. It's to oppress a certain group of people.
Oh, oppress. Okay, what are the types of oppressions?
I mean, I just told you it's to oppress. Now, by that definition,
what does oppression mean?
Dragon Boy. By the definition I just gave you, did Jesus oppress this woman? Because I mean, it sounded like
you're not.
Sounded like he gave her what she
breaking down
wanted.
the definition. When you say oppress, like I can say psychologically, when you refer to somebody as
you tell me then. What does it mean to be
I'll
racist?
respond. If I call somebody a dog, I would say
what does it mean to be?
oppression.
What does it mean to be racist? Wait a minute. You think a word is oppressing you?
Yeah,
If
you insult somebody, this is a form of oppression. If I call your mother a whore or a dog, this is a type of oppression, right? You would suppose.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you right now, okay? Because I know, again, man,
can you just answer the question?
Yeah. Hey, real quick. The thing.
If I were to refer to your mother as a dog, would this be
the thing I love? It's not. That's just you using words. And you know what? Thankful for my mom. She's stronger than a Muslim man.
I'm not insulting mother.
She can handle words.
I'm not saying that this is the case. I mean, if you feel that she is one, right?
If you call
I can't really help you.
If you call my mom a dog, I got good news for you, dude. She's stronger than a Muslim man because you're over here. Hey, no, I want to bring him back up. I didn't drop him. My mom dropped him. He can come back up. But here's what you need to know. My mom can handle a word. She's not a weak Muslim man who thinks that that's something that's oppressing her. My mom can handle the word. So the definition, of racism is a group of people being oppressed. So if Jesus was oppressing this woman, why did he give her what she asked for? That goes against what racism is. Hello, buddy. I'll bring you back up here, dude. But here's what I need from you, okay? I need you to calm down. 2, I need you to not be so emotional. 3, when I talk, just let me speak, okay? You're in my life, all right? You're in my life. I'll bring him up for just a little bit longer because I just want to drive a point home with him, okay? 1, he's showing that the fruit of Islam, it's sour. It's a sour fruit for many reasons, but I'll give you 2. 1, there's no salvation in Islam. 2, look at the way he behaves. It's a sour fruit. If it was a fruit, it'd be durian. Durian, that's that fruit that smells like fart. That's the fruit of Islam. I'm gonna bring you back up, Dragon Boy, okay? But I'm gonna need you to cool it. I see that your photo's an anime picture. Pretty
You know,
cool.
I find it so funny. Christians don't want me to come. They're scared for you. Right? That's the
Hey,
funny part.
look, I think they dropped you because you're being so disrespectful. But the thing that I like about you being so disrespectful is that you're showing the fruits of Islam.
Yeah,
is all
okay,
I'm
sure.
saying.
So like
So,
this is, I
yeah.
find it so hypocritical. You say the fruits of Islam while you're also
Yeah.
insulting as well, claiming to be my prophet. But when I insult you, all the fruits of Islam.
Hey, well, hey,
Typical Christian cup.
what's a prophet? What's a prophet?
Yeah, somebody that can prophesy.
I prophesied what you were going to bring up. Hello, that makes me
No,
a
that's
prophet.
okay.
Then.
So if somebody makes a
prophet.
predict, one second.
I'm a
If somebody
prophet.
makes like an inference, right, that's not gonna be a prophecy, you clown. So like this level of intellect is actually so embarrassing. Like, why do you have a live up open right now? Like attempting to defend Christianity while
Well,
making the arguments
wait a
for me.
minute. Hold on real
Again,
quick.
yeah,
Hey,
let me one second.
Christianity
You
requires
asked the
no
question,
defense.
sir. You asked the
Christianity
question.
requires no defense.
Sir,
So let me tell you
me
that real quick. It requires no defense. You know, I don't have to defend
Clearly-
Jesus. Jesus speaks for himself.
defend your-
The truth is that there's life in Jesus. Is there life in Islam? It
Yeah.
doesn't seem to be because you as a
Failing to
Muslim
defend-
don't even know where you're going.
failing to defend your God against me.
I don't have to defend him. What are you talking about?
Well, I proved your God is a sinner.
No, you didn't. Because when I look up what the theology says, it says, according to the Islamic theology, Jesus was sinless. So hold on real quick.
Our prophet
so
was racist. Jesus was not racist.
Hey, so then hold on real quick.
So
So then,
according to
wait a
Islam.
minute. So this means you're a better prophet than Muhammad because Muhammad said Jesus is sinless, but you're saying Jesus is a sinner? Huh.
I don't believe your
You're like,
conception
ugh.
of Jesus in the Bible is going to be my
No,
conception.
no.
Of course,
Wait a minute. No. Here, I'll just prove to
I
everybody
can
that I looked
notice
it up.
I can speak.
I'll prove. Yeah, I do.
No,
I
notice
do
I'm
notice that.
still.
I do notice that. Look, I'm going to prove it to everybody right here. Okay, look at this. Is Jesus sinless in Islam?
Yes, he's sinless
In
according to Islam. Like I've accepted
Jesus,
that.
peace
Goofy.
be upon him, is sinless.
Like what point are
okay.
you deriving from this
Okay,
fight? This is
hey,
my
here
belief.
we go. Here we go too. Is Jesus sinless? I'll just take out in Islam. Is Jesus sinless? Oh yes, according to the Bible, Jesus Christ was sinless.
Well, though, I'm showing that.
the fact that you want to come up in here and call me goofy when your own theology says Jesus is sinless,
Those using
and my
AI.
theology says Jesus is sinless. I just
Yeah.
think it's funny that therefore, you don't submit to Allah because Allah says Jesus is sinless. Are you a Muslim and you submit to Allah, or don't you? Because your theology says Jesus is sinless.
All right, can I respond without being like muted or interrupted?
Yeah, I appreciate
Yeah.
you not talking.
Okay, no issue. So again, I don't know what's the point is by bringing up whether Isa is sinless according to Islam. Of course, our prophet isn't racist, so of course he's sinless, right? Now, when you make the argument, oh well, Google says that Jesus is sinless, while I'm making an argument to establish that Jesus, in fact, or your God is racist, this doesn't deal with the argument because. Right now, let's say Jesus was to grape a woman according to the New Testament, and then you look up, is Jesus sinless according to our theology? And it says yes. Are you going to accept this line of reasoning? Of course not.
You're right.
Likewise, in the case, likewise in the case of the argument, when we see clearly a woman on her knees begging him, right, for aid, and he refers to her as a dog on the basis that she's a Gentile, and you keep saying, oh well, I'm saying it's a parable. Yes. Well, this parable designates a racist meaning. The parables carry meanings, and this specific meaning is racist. And you have yet to.
Yeah, but then we broke down what is racism, and then we broke down. Because listen here.
Sorry, can you contain yourself?
Yeah, because it's my life. Okay, so listen up. All right, it's my life. Listen to your prophet. All right, it's my life. So yeah, we already established that racism involves an oppression of a group of people. So if Jesus was oppressing her, why did he help her? Are we going to really keep going in circles?
I'll respond. Let me respond to this point. You're saying, oh, well, if you're claiming Jesus is racist, why is it the case that he actually helped her? Well, because she submitted to him, you clown. She was on her knees begging. She accepted the fact that she was a dog.
What is racism?
I am a dog. 1 second.
Hey, what is racism?
What is racism? Hold, let me ask the question.
What is racism?
What is racism?
You've already said all this stuff. What is racism?
When you're prejudiced against an individual based upon their race. So because of the fact that she's a non-Jew, according to Jesus, as you agreed, she is a dog. And while she was on her knees, she finally accepted the fact that she's a dog, and then he granted her help. Respond to the argument, you clown.
Look how, again, the fruits of Islam, they're sour.
Yeah, okay, your God is simple, like he's a racist individual.
All right, hold on real quick, Dragon Boy. So oppression, or wait a minute, not oppression. Racism is prejudice. Then what's prejudice? What's it mean to be prejudiced? Can you be prejudiced? Is prejudice racism? Are those the same thing?
Yeah, of course, that's gonna be a form.
He's not muted. I think it's just his connection. A form of racism? Should I Google it? What is racism? What is racism? Let's see. I don't know what's going on with this connection. Okay. Okay, cool. Racism is the process by which systems and policies, actions, and attitudes create inequitable opportunities and outcomes for people based on race. So based on this definition, was Jesus racist? Can't be, right? Because what he said was only for the children of Israel, he gave to the Canaanite woman. So it's funny that he calls me goofy when he doesn't even know. Hey, don't drop him. Let him stay up real quick, okay? But I just want you, Dragon Boy, before you come up here. I just Googled what is racism because you can't be trusted. You're saying Jesus is a liar, so you're showing me you're not trustworthy. I just Googled what is racism. Racism is the process by which systems and policies, actions and attitudes create inequitable opportunities. It means not equal opportunities and outcomes for people based on race. So on that definition, Jesus gave the Canaanite woman what she asked for. He gave the Canaanite woman what was only for the children of Israel. So therefore, he can't be racist. Just debunked you. See how easy it is when you're not getting emotional, when you're not talking and calling names and all this stuff. You're not acting like a child. I'm going to let you back up now. We're going to move on past this because I just proved to you Jesus isn't racist. And I already knew he wasn't racist. By the definition of racism, Jesus isn't racist. So we're going to bring you out, man. Bring you back up. And what I want to know is, why should anybody be a Muslim? If Islam doesn't offer salvation, there's no guarantee. There's only guaranteed of salvation through Jesus. Why should anybody be a Muslim? You're up, Dragon Boy. Just try to be nice, okay? Try to be cool. Do you see even when I drop you or when you're gone, that I don't talk trash about you? I just talk calmly and let you come back up. Even though you insult me a lot.
To be fair, this rhetoric isn't working. When I'm up on the panel, you're spamming mute, you're claiming to be my prophet, insulting, yet you cry and start like some cuck. When I repeat it back to you, all of a sudden you start crying. So this rhetoric isn't going to work with me. Anyways, look, I looked up the definition of racism. There's two different ones given. Oh, wow. The typical one says the belief that different races possess distinct characteristics, abilities, or qualities, especially to one another, right? So then now let's hash this out. Let's see whether in the case of Christianity, this is what's going to be explicated. So you agreed that based upon the fact that they're non-Jews, they're being referred to as dogs, right? Yes or no?
I mean, we've been talking about this for a while now. I think you already know that answer, right?
Okay, well, I want to go step by step. So the new guests or new viewers of the live can also understand the argument that's being made. So you agree that because of the fact that they're non-Jews, they're dogs, yes or no?
This is crazy, man.
I see the nervous laughter, like, because you know where this is going to go.
I think it's crazy that you're
still. It's a yes or no question. Can you respond?
Because I'm also.
I know you want to move on, but I'm not going to move on. I'm going to force you to consider your God is racist. And your God is a sinner. So can you respond to the argument?
Well, here's the thing, which I think is like silly for you. Here's what's crazy: is that you can't say he's a sinner even according to Islam. So according to Islam, he's not a sinner. And according to Christianity...
I agree. He's not a sinner according to Islam. According to Christianity, though, he is. And I'm making an argument to establish that.
But that's where you're wrong. Because I just showed everybody when I typed in, is Jesus sinless? And it said, according to Christianity, he's sinless. So
okay, so if
what
the
you
Bible
believe and what I believe, he's sinless.
So because you looked it up on Google, therefore that is the case. So one second. Well, that's all you're saying to me right now.
The Bible teaches.
Google says that Jesus is not a sinner. Christians believe this. Therefore, this is the case. Well, I'm making an argument against this belief.
Hey, little buddy.
That's the entire point of an argument.
Hey, little buddy. I also just told you that the Bible teaches he's sinless. And then
the Bible also teaches the fact that he's a sinner and that he's racist.
And you went on this whole thing that he's a sinner and racist, but then we broke down what is racism.
Well, I want to break it down, but you're not answering my question.
But hey, hold on real quick. Hey, you are so emotional. And then we broke down what is racism even, and we agreed oppression is involved. If it's just words, all right, well, hey, sticks and stones can break my bones. Racism is deeper than just words. It's an oppression of a group of people. So don't act like you don't know that. So now when we know... So now that we know so now that we know that Jesus didn't oppress the woman, he gave her.
I don't accept that.
He gave her. Well, you don't have.
Buddy, I don't accept that.
I don't care if you don't accept
it. I just gave the formal definition for racism, and from this, 1 second, let me
you said
speak.
there was 2 definitions. Give me give them both to me.
Stop panicking.
Yeah,
Can you stop panicking?
Panicking? I haven't called you. I haven't acted like you at all.
Well,
give me both definitions.
You're establishing that you're panicking when you just monologue and not allowing your interlocutor to respond.
I'm just.
So I'm going to read 1 second.
Give me both those definitions.
Well, then how can you speak to me if you're the only one speaking? Let me respond, right?
Hello. So when someone speaks to somebody, there's one person speaking. Are you slow?
Well, the issue is that this is a monologue, and you clearly don't want to have a dialogue, or you're scared of it. So again, the definition of racism: the belief that different races possess distinct characteristics, abilities, or qualities, especially so as to distinguish them as inferior or superior to one another. So based upon this definition that we're deriving from Oxford, we're going to go step by step to establish that your God is racist.
Cool. Pause real quick.
Brother, can I make a point? No, what do you mean pause? I just read the definition. You want to pause for a second time?
And I'm thankful you read that definition, because you said inferior. So how is Jesus showing she's inferior if he gave her what was only for the lost sheep of Israel?
I'll respond, right?
Yeah. So you have to explain how she was inferior. If he. Well,
yes, I'm gonna explain. I'm gonna explain that. So can you contain yourself and just answer my yes or no questions? Is it the case that according to Jesus that any non-Jew is a dog? Yes or no?
Keep going, dude.
Answer the question.
Hey, keep going. Get to your point.
The yes or no question. Stop diverting. I know you're scared.
You're not here.
According to Jesus, if you're a non-Jew, you're a dog, right? Can you answer the question? I'm not gonna move on unless you answer the question. If according to Jesus, if you're a non-Jew, you're a dog, right? I know it's shameful, right? You don't want to accept it.
Dude, we read it for everybody.
Your God is racist.
We read it for everybody. This is silly that this is what you get.
Of course, when you're silent like the clown that you are, you can't respond to a simple question. That is very telling. So again, based upon the fact of what we read in the case of Matthew, any non-Jew is a dog, right?
Well, in that parable, yeah, that's what it sounds like in that parable.
So according to Jesus, every non-Jew is a dog. Yeah. Now, according to Matthew 7:6, dog, or the term dog, carries a negative connotation because it says, do not give the dogs what is sacred. So we can say dog here is going to refer to something lower, and something sacred is going to be something that is superior, right?
Jesus just said the same thing to the Canaanite woman, though.
Well, again, we're going to go through it. We're going to go step by step, and I'm going to force you to concede that he's racist. So the term dog here, well, 1 second. The definition of racism, once more, is to distinguish a race to be inferior or superior to one another. Now, the term dog and the term, holy, is there like a distinction between the two? Yes or no?
Term dog and holy? Yeah.
Yes. So dog would designate something to be lower than the case, right? Yes or no?
Dude, this is crazy, man.
Well, I know you're scared, so respond to the question.
This is crazy.
Respond to the question. Yeah, it is crazy that your God is racist. Respond to the question.
Wow, dude.
Racism, I know you're scared. Can you respond?
Hey, racism,
I'm asking you a very simple question. The term dog, does it designate something to have a lower status? Yes or no?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Okay, beautiful. So if every non-Jew is going to be referred to as a dog again, if every non-Jew is going to be referred to as a dog, then therefore every non-Jew is going to have a lower status than dogs. Therefore, Jesus is racist according to the definition of racism.
Okay,
what is false in my line of reasoning?
Hey, pause real quick. So, are you...
What's false in my line of reasoning? Can you tell me?
So, for a Muslim and non-Muslims, are you higher up, or are we equal, Muslim and non-Muslim?
That's tangential. Can you respond to my point?
That's tangential.
Can you respond? I'll answer the question once you establish my false line of reasoning that your God isn't racist.
I'm giving it to you right now, bud. Okay, I'm giving it to you right now. So, a Muslim and non-Muslim, are they equal?
Yeah. They're non-equal on the basis of their deeds, not their race.
Okay. So, a Muslim and a believer in Allah and a non-believer in Allah, are they equal?
No, they're not equal.
Okay. Cool. So when God has a chosen people, because he's set them apart, he's made them holy. To be set apart means you're not equal. You are set apart. So the parable that Jesus gave aligns beautifully with what God has said, that he has chosen a people to be his own set apart people, to call them holy amongst all the nations. You don't seem to understand that.
Okay.
What's up? Yeah. And it's funny because here you are. Wait a minute. Hold on real quick. Here you are. Classic hypocritical Muslim over here. Hypocritical. Because I just asked you, is a non-believer in Allah equal to a believer in Allah? And you said no.
And I directly answered.
Yeah, so it's not equal. So I just beautifully answered to you how God set a people apart by God's own standard. They're not equal. You can't be equal if you're set apart. So by God's own standard, they are not equal. So Jesus saying everyone's a dog compared to what God has set apart. Hello. That is literally what God has said himself.
Okay. No, so let me respond, right? And I hope that you won't interrupt while I just like slowly refute this terrible response. So yes, of course, it's the case that a believer in God and a disbeliever in God are not going to be equal. But them not being equal is on the basis of their own actions. My argument is Jesus is racist because he's distinguishing individuals on the basis of their race, on the basis of what they were born with. Not on the basis of their actions, because this woman, she was I know you're coping. I know it's difficult where you're low to your argument.
Because you didn't hear me. You didn't hear anything I just said.
No, I did. Again, let's say I accepted it. This doesn't respond to the argument. I hashed out the fact that your God is racist. What's false in my line of reasoning?
So why is God racist? Because he set apart a group of people.
Okay, so you accept God is racist.
No, Jesus is racist. Wait, did you hear the question mark?
You said why is God racist, designating that Jesus is racist, right?
No, I'm because you're the one making the claim, so I'm over here asking.
Well, is my claim false?
Listen, why is
my claim false?
Let me finish my sentence. Why is what God has set apart as holy considered racist?
Because what's being done here, they're being designated.
I love your
distinct.
answer. You're saying God is racist now. You're like, because.
Why are you laughing? Well, yeah, I'll explain. Because it's going to be on the basis of their race that they're superior than another group of individuals, not on the basis of their actions.
That's not true. That's not true. God didn't choose the Israelites because of their race. He just chose them as his nation to set apart and make holy, not because of their race. He chose to set them apart. This is what I love. Beautiful.
So then that other group is going to be dogs.
Beautifully. Hey, little bud. This is what I'm saying here. So just like in your own belief, a believer and a non-believer, they're not equal. But that's even
this
different.
Is just this is the true cold right? And you're not responding to the argument.
Little friend, but this is
you've yet to respond in the case of my argument or the false line.
This is what's different here. God set a group of people apart from the entire world. He set them apart. So you have an issue with Jesus, who was here to fulfill a mission, saying, I've come for the lost sheep of Israel. Everybody else I didn't come for. And in his parable, he calls
not an issue.
He calls everybody else a dog.
There's no issue with this. The issue is that now that let's say one group of individuals were chosen. That's not the contention. The contention here is that the group that wasn't chosen, they're being referred to as dogs. Right? So that now they're being insulted on the basis of who they are or how God created them, not on the basis of their actions. So again, the argument for the last time, I'll rehash it and then you explain to me or pick out the false line of reasoning. It says, again, racism, the belief that different races possess distinct characteristics, abilities, or qualities, especially so as to distinguish them as inferior or superior to one another. You agreed. Jesus believes that anybody that is a non-Jew is going to be considered a dog. According to Jesus, Matthew 7:6, he says, do not give the dogs what is sacred. Designated that dog here is going to have a lower status to that which is going to be sacred or holy. Now, when we link that up in the case of Jesus' belief or his statement, when he says any non-Jew is a dog, he's stating that any non-Jew is below a Jew on the basis of their race. And the definition of racism is believing or distinguishing groups or races to be inferior on the basis of their race.
All right, cool.
So from
you're saying the same thing.
One second.
Okay.
One second.
You're saying the same
Pick out
thing
the
repeatedly.
false line of reasoning in my argument.
I've heard enough of you say the same thing.
Pick out the false line of reasoning in my argument.
I got you. And this is where it's so easy. It's beautiful. I got you. Because like I said moments ago, God didn't choose a group of people because of their race. He chose them to set them apart. He had to choose a group to set them apart, to reveal himself to them. Let the world.
So you agree your God is racist?
No, hold on. I'm trying to explain to you real quick. He set a group apart.
You just repeated the same thing.
I know. So what I'm saying is he didn't choose.
Respond to the point.
Dragon Boy, please be quiet real quick, okay? He didn't choose a group based on their race. He just chose a group to set apart. So just because he set them apart, that doesn't mean there's any racism here involved.
My argument isn't Jews are superior, therefore they're racist. I'm saying that any non-Jew is being insulted for being lower Therefore, this is racist. So stop attacking the straw man.
Right.
What is the pick out? I told you again. Pick out the false line of reasoning in my argument.
The false line of reasoning the false line of reasoning is...
One second. Jesus' actions or beliefs fall under the definition.
You're stuttering now. You're getting scared? I heard those stutters, buddy. You okay?
Can you respond?
I just was saying I heard those stutters. I thought
that's fine. You're speaking about stutters, yet you're not responding to the argument. Everything but the argument you want to respond to. Pick out the false line of reasoning.
I've been trying to tell you this. So there is no racism here. Jesus, you said, was a parable. He didn't call her a dog. He used a parable.
Now you're going back to like the last point, and I responded to that. That it's not because it's a parable that is sinful or that it's racist, but because of the meaning behind the parable.
How about this?
I'm going to make it simple. Does Jesus fall under the definition of racism?
It's okay.
Or is what he did in Matthew does it fall under the definition of racism?
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
But then it says here, the belief that different races possess distinct characteristics, abilities, or qualities, especially so as to distinguish them as inferior or superior to one another, right? So based upon what I just hashed out in the case of my argument, he would fall under this definition because any non-Jew, one second.
Yeah, you've already said all this. You've already said all this.
Yeah, so respond to it. I'm repeating it because you're not responding to the argument.
Dragon Boy. There you go again. The durian fruit of Islam. So if Jesus,
exactly right.
Listen,
your God is racist.
Hey, if Jesus,
these are the fruits of Christianity.
If Jesus was superior, then how come he gave the Canaanite what she asked for?
Yeah, I told you. The 10th time I'm going to respond to this. She's on her knees, accepting the fact that she's a dog, and then out of pity, he helped her because she's accepting the fact that she's a dog. He didn't want to help her. 1 second.
What he did though, he spoke her language.
Let me fully respond to the question.
And it's not that he didn't want to help her. It's not that he didn't want to help her. He was testing her faith. He was testing her faith, and that was it. And so when she showed she had faith in Jesus and who he is, he helped her. And so if he was superior, why did he help her? By
accepting that she's a dog, right? By being on her knees and begging.
You're just saying if he was superior, then why would he help her? She's inferior. Why did he help her?
Yeah, because she accepted the humiliation, right? Then out of pity, he helped her.
What was the humiliation?
Yeah, by her being on her knees.
By telling her a parable.
I'll tell you.
This is crazy. This is your whole argument against Christianity.
Let me answer the question. What was the humiliation? You ask. Well, the humiliation is he calls her a dog, and her response is, "Yes, it is, Lord. Even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from their master's table." So she's accepting that she's lower, she's lesser on the basis of her being a Gentile.
What she was doing?
Therefore, your God is a filthy, racist individual. What do you think about this?
That's cool, dude.
Well, what do you think about this? Your God is a sinner.
I'm trying to tell you.
I want to respond. Your God is a sinner.
Yeah, well, I have been.
How do you deal with this?
I have been responding.
How do you contend with the fact that your God is racist and all of the Christians tuning into the live, they have to accept this fact as well, that their God is a racist.
Dude, you sound evil. I'm telling you the truth. You sound evil.
Your God is evil. I'm just,
listen,
if I sound evil, because I'm repeating what your God is.
How crazy is that? You sound evil. Like the way you sound evil because you're over here willingly telling lies. You're evil. This is the fruit of Islam. You're up here being evil. You're up here being evil is all I'm saying.
To take out the lie in my reasoning. I'm evil for repeating what Jesus said. I mean, hey, if that's fine, okay, right? If I'm evil for repeating what your God said,
so let me tell you. This is what I'm trying to tell you. This is what I was going to try to tell you. It's no surprise that you have a dragon. It's no surprise you have a dragon in your name. I'll tell you that. So this is what I'm going to tell you. So it's just the woman was smart enough. Most people that Jesus was talking to, the Gentiles, they didn't understand his parables, and even the disciples said, "Lord, why do you?" Hey, listen. He's like, please be quiet, okay?
She accepted the fact she was a dog.
This is what I'm trying to tell you, dude. So just hush, okay? Just listen. So even the disciples asked, "Lord, why do you speak in parables?" And he lets them know because these things are to be spiritually discerned. That those who aren't ready to receive it won't receive it, but those with the Spirit will receive it. So,
Christians are telling you to go study and stop debating.
Hey, please, so listen to this.
Humiliating Christianity right now.
Just please listen.
Terrible representation.
Dude, you sound evil and ignorant right now. So
I'm evil for repeating what your God said.
Listen real quick. Hey, Dragon Boy. Chosen, you're right. So Dragon Boy, listen to this. So the fact that he gave her a parable and she responded with the same type of analogy that she gave him, he therefore was like, man, you've got so much faith. You even understand that? And he gave it to her what she wanted. So the fact that
she accepted that, she understood that she was a dog.
But
right?
you know what's funny?
How beautiful.
Hey, you know what's funny is that you show that you don't have.
You're a dog. You understood. I'm gonna help you now.
I can't believe this is your
how
whole argument.
hilarious.
Hey, I can't believe this has been your whole argument. So what I'm trying to say is, it goes to show that you don't have any spirit.
Yeah, and you can't respond. Like, that's the most embarrassing part.
This is my response, dude. Can you just be quiet? This is my response. That you yourself don't even have the spirit in you to discern that own parable. You're discerning it as Jesus is racist, whereas the woman discerned it, and which is why Jesus.
She's a
you
dog.
have so much. Oh my gosh.
You discern that she's a dog.
Okay, cool. So now that I've explained it to you thoroughly and you still don't understand it, which is totally fine, I'm over here asking you again. Why should anybody be a Muslim if you yourself?
Cool. Except for repeating what Jesus said, that's crazy.
So why should? And you also have I mean, we know who you belong to. You got a dragon in your icon. We know who you belong to.
Hey, I'm just repeating what your God said. Like, why do you hate me for it? You hate me for the words of your God. What's going on?
I don't hate you.
I'm not even taking it serious because you're so low tier.
Hey, shh. I don't hate you
I'm
at all.
probably going to respond to the fact that you're a polytheist as well. I'm embarrassing.
Am I a low tier? Because look how emotional you're getting to a low tier, right? Look how emotional.
Bro, I'm perfectly fine right now. Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
You've been up here calling names. You've been up here talking with.
Yeah, just because I insult you doesn't mean therefore that I'm mad or angry. It's just going to be a form of rhetoric, goofy.
I mean, well, hey, where does insults come from? Anger, right?
That doesn't follow. I can just insult you to just like anger you.
Do insults come from anger?
Not necessarily.
Where do insults come from?
Out of desire.
Look at
there could be the goal that I just like want to hurt your feelings and just like humiliate you.
So you desire
and just, like,
to be evil.
like the dog that you are. There's absolutely no issue with it. I'm perfectly fine.
Hey, cool, dude. So anyways, so I don't even know why you were up here even arguing in favor.
Yeah, your God is racist.
Okay, cool.
And your God is a sinner as well.
Okay, well, according to your own theology, he's not. So I really don't care. I really don't care what you believe.
According to Islam, Jesus is not racist. Our prophet is not racist. According to you, Jesus is racist according to the Bible.
And find me any scholar in Christianity who's saying Jesus is a sinner and racist. Please find me. Okay, you're not going to find that because the Bible teaches.
I'm going to humiliate them like I humiliated you.
This is how evil you are. You come up here talking bad about Jesus. And if this was a Muslim live and I said something about Muhammad, like Muhammad is in the dirt, he's buried, I'd be dropped and muted.
And your God got pinned in a stick and got sent to hell. According to
okay, cool. So anyways, let's get back to the heart of the matter here, okay?
So we got a lot of issues, right?
Let's go back let's get back to the heart of the matter here, everybody. I want everybody here to hear this.
God was pinned on a stick. How do you feel? That he was also racist as well.
Dude, I'm so grateful that happened. Because that happened, I'm saved.
Exactly. Your God was pinned on a stick.
Yeah.
Sent to hell as well to save yourself.
Do you see how emotional he is? But anyways,
brother, I'm perfectly fine. Like,
you're clearly not. And here's what's sad. Here's what's sad is this: is that you, as a devout Muslim, you don't know if you're going to heaven or hell, right? In fact, you probably think. I prove
that you don't as well.
No, but I can tell you, I do know where I'm going.
Well, no, you don't.
Hey, but you also are probably thinking you're probably going to do some time in hell, right?
You're a false believer. How do you know?
Hey, you're probably going to do some time in hell, correct?
It is possible. Your God did time in hell. Is there an issue with that?
Hey, that sucks.
Your God went to hell. Is there an issue with that?
That sucks that you're.
Jesus went to hell. Is there an issue with that?
Did he?
Is that a problem?
Hey, did he?
I mean, according to 1 Peter 3:19, if I'm not mistaken, he went to Hades.
First Peter
after
3:19? Did he?
Yeah.
And what did he go there for?
Yeah, because he bore the sins of mankind.
There's that porky pigs that are again. There's that porky pigs that are. So what did he go to hell for?
This terrible rhetoric.
What did he go to hell for?
Your God was sent to hell. Is there an issue with that?
Was he sent to hell or did he go there? What did he go there for?
Yeah, he was sent to hell for having all of those sins upon him and bearing it.
No, that's actually not true. So if you're going to quote some scripture, you at least have to be honest about there. Jesus went down to let them know that even he is true, that everything that he has said is true, that this is the truth.
So Jesus went to hell to call people to him?
Yeah, hey, let's read it though. You said it's what?
Wait, why were they put in hell then if they didn't know about Jesus?
Hey, let's read it.
Or nobody came to them in the first place.
They were put to hell because they knew the law, right? So
they denied Jesus, yet now he's going to tell them to accept him again?
No, because before Jesus, they were under the law, right? So which one were you quoting?
I believe 1 Peter 3:19, where your God got sent to hell.
1 Peter 3:19. 3:19. Then we can read it and see. Did he get sent to hell?
I find it so funny when Christians are begging you to drop me. Christians want me to get dropped.
It's only because
they're observing this absolute humiliation happening upon you. Where you're not capable of responding to any. I prove that you're a polytheist. I prove that your God is racist.
Look at how you
Zero responses.
Dragon Boy, it's because you're up here being
It's emotional at
disrespectful.
all.
Dragon Boy, it's because you're up here being disrespectful. And it is emotional.
No, I'm
Anger,
humiliating you as well.
you're really not. You're only embarrassing yourself.
Yeah, like
This is the fruit of Islam.
intellectually.
All right, cool. So I'm gonna read. All right, I'm gonna read. Yeah.
You're getting absolutely baked there now. Like this, like false.
Yeah. I'm molested. Yeah, according to you and the way you're thinking, you're Muhammad, I'm Aisha. That's how you think you're wrecking me right now.
Yeah, no,
That's
okay.
not what's going on.
So, okay, let's go with the. I was a pedophile as well. You know that, right? Numbers 3140, where 32 creepy pussy girls.
Hey, don't say the word. Don't say
No,
that
can
word.
you respond to the point?
Hey, don't say that word. And I think you know you can't say that word, and you said it so you can get dropped. But if you're over here thinking you're, doing that to me, so in this case, you're Muhammad, I'm Aisha. But that's really not the case here. So I'm going to read 1 Peter, let's see if he's even right about what he was reading. Jesus going to hell. And was he sent to hell, or what did he go there for? Let's get to the bottom of this. But you see how emotional he got? As soon as I brought up Muhammad, this whole time he's been bashing Jesus. Hey, see you, Chelsea. I appreciate you coming in here and putting that dog on a leash. But this whole time he's bashing Jesus, right? He's saying all these awful things. But the moment I say, oh, I guess in this situation, I'm Muhammad, you're Muhammad, I'm Aisha. You see how mad he got? He got really mad. He couldn't even handle me saying one thing against his sinful prophet. But I could handle him saying all these things about Jesus. You know why? Because the truth requires no defense. Like, I don't have to defend Jesus. He speaks for himself. You can look up, is Jesus sinless? No. Is Jesus sinless in Islam? No. Yet here's this guy coming up here calling Jesus a sinner, calling Jesus all these names, calling me names, and I still let him be up here. But the moment I call Muhammad something, he's a fragile Muslim like the rest of them. So I'm trying to find where Jesus went to Hades, I really don't know where it's at. Because I wanted to read it to you guys, because he's over here making it seem like he got sent to hell. He didn't get sent to hell. Jesus went to Hades? I'm going to put that. Descended into Hades. Oh, okay. So it says he descended into Hades to preach to the spirits imprisoned there and liberate the righteous. So he went there to preach to the spirits imprisoned and to liberate the righteous. So Jesus wasn't sent because he was a sinner. Because like I said, nothing teaches Jesus was a sinner. But I want you guys to know that guy came in here as a Muslim so mad about Jesus. And I'm telling you the truth, he seemed evil. Like he was being pretty evil. Luke 16:22. And the whole time he was up here, if this was a Muslim life, me coming up here, treating a Muslim like that, they'd kick me every time. They wouldn't let me up. They'd kick me, they'd probably block me. But I let him come up here because I don't mind, like let him make himself look like a fool. Let him represent Islam. Let's see if he really has a good argument here. But he doesn't. Because on one hand, he's saying a parable made Jesus racist. Okay, a parable. And then when I explained to him what it meant, he's still saying, no, Jesus is a sinner. Okay. Well, according to Islam, Jesus isn't a sinner. So I don't care what he believes, because his own religion says Jesus was sinless. And guess what? The Bible also says Jesus is sinless. So I don't know what he was up here for being so emotional. I went to Luke 16:22. I don't know why someone wanted to read that. But yeah, I don't mind talking to anybody. He was getting on my nerves, I'll be honest, but only because he kept being so disrespectful to me. He was talking over me, he was being rude, and he was just flat out being disrespectful. Even one time he tried to really push my buttons. He was like, so if I call your mom a whore, blah, 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 blah. You see the fruits of Islam? Where he has no salvation. Why should anybody be Muslim? It offers nothing. You have no salvation in Islam. It sounds like every Muslim's going to go do some time in hell. All right. Well, Jesus says if you follow him, you get to go to heaven. So